Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have another video for you today, and these are battles that I did on stream. Registeel Double Ghost. So a lot of times when you see Double Ghost, in the past it was with Trevenant, but because of the nerf to Trevenant, I'm using Drifblim. Drifblim did receive Mystical Fire. Now, you know, it's interesting. Drifblim is a Pokemon I really want all three moves, right? I want Shadow Ball, I want Mystical Fire, I want Icy Wind, I want them all. You feel me? But unfortunately, that is not a thing in Pokemon Go yet. You cannot have three moves. So, I'm going with the new Mystical Fire, and it did really well. For me, it really did. I really enjoyed using Drifblim. It's a lot of fun. So against the Scrafty, that was tough. This whole team does struggle against Scrafty and Obstagoon, right? So when the Scrafty came in, you know, I had a great lead, but when the Scrafty came in, I was like, oof, that's not great. But at least I can get to the return with Sableye to KO the Scrafty. So that is good for me. I still have a shield. Out comes Pelipper. Pelipper will be able to throw what I assume to be a Weather Ball. I think I knew it was a Weather Ball, and it is a Weather Ball. And another Weather Ball coming out, which will be enough to KO me. But can my Registeel make it to a Zap Cannon? I think it can if I shield the next Weather Ball. But I guess we will find out. So I go ahead and bring in the Registeel right now. And I do have to shield this, but I think I am confident that I can make it. I just have to watch out for a possible catch from the Pelipper, and I get to the Zap Cannon. No catch, which is good for me, which will easily KO a flock of Pelippers, right? And we'll see what's in the back. It's going to be Galarian Stunfisk. So because of Mystical Fire, this is looking pretty good. Guaranteed debuff, right? So I'm guaranteed to debuff the opponent with Mystical Fire. And I'll be able to take the Rock Slides a lot easier than I would have been before. Because 2 would have KO'd me before. Now it looks like I barely survive another one. And whereas I would not have been able to if that Mystical Fire was not guaranteed to debuff Galarian Stunfisk, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go for another one. And it doesn't KO. And I'm going for the Farm Down. And I'm going to be able to get it. It's very difficult to Mudshot down a Drifblim, right? Good game, well played to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move it to the next one. Registeel into Swampert. Okay, this is a tough lead. But at least, like, it's a Shadow Swampert. You do outpace him to the Earthquake. So you can go ahead and go for this Focus Blast right now. And this Focus Blast has got to get the shield, so at least you get the shield. I'm going to go ahead and go into Sableye. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of energy. This could be an Earthquake. It's probably a Hydro Cannon, so I let it go. Still does a lot of damage. Another Hydro Cannon will KO me. But my opponent catches. Should have waited. I guess it was kind of... It wasn't obvious the catch was coming, but I kind of thought maybe... so I should have waited a little bit, but that's okay, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this return. My opponent, I don't know if they're going for the Farm Down, but if they're going for the Farm Down, I'm going to be able to get off this return, which does good damage. I'll take that. So they are not going for the Farm Down. They could have actually gotten it, but I guess maybe they were concerned that I would get to a Foul Play. Foul Play wouldn't KO anyway, but I could bring in Registeel now. My Registeel could take these Foul Plays, but I'm going to have to take a couple Foul Plays before I get to a Focus Blast. Out comes another Foul Play. Obviously, Drifblim wants no part of Umbreon, right? So I gotta get rid of this Umbreon. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Focus Blast right now. I'm gonna tell you, Drifblim was so much fun to play with Mystical Fire. I just really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to trying it in the Ultra League. So my opponent is gonna come in, and I'm just gonna rely on Drifblim at this point in time. And my opponent, that was actually definitely an undercharge, but out comes an attack, and these Hydro Cannons are absolutely going to chunk. So, really, really bad situation for me. I do shield this. Do I bait here? I just go straight for it. I don't even charge up for the Shadow Ball. So, I just go straight for the Mystical Fire. But I still get a shield anyway, getting that attack debuff, which is nice. So, now a Hydro Cannon will come out. But the Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to KO me. It will still do a lot despite the debuff. Out comes Dragonair. Going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right now. This Shadow Ball is going to almost KO. Can I farm down? I can't. They can actually farm down before I'm able to. So that is really unfortunate for me. You know, this was so close. I actually make it to a Focus Blast, but we CMP and my opponent gets it off first. That was so close despite the really bad lead, right? Maybe I could have won if they didn't catch on the Umbreon, if I paid more attention to that. You know, hindsight is 20/20, but either way, I think I did pretty well. moving on, Registeel into Victreebel. So I do resist every move coming in from Victreebel, right? And Drifblim does as well. So I did think they would stay in, though, because I'm anticipating a Bastiodon and a Medicham in the back, or possibly a Deoxys. A lot of times, that is the team. No shield from my opponent, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in Sableye. Try to farm down. Out comes the Bastiodon. I wanted to lure out the Bastiodon because I don't want Drifblim against Bastiodon at all, right? I want Drifblim against what I assume to be the Medicham, or again, possibly the Deoxys, but most of the time, I assume it's Medicham. And Sableye against Bastiodon, you can still get a lot of damage off against it, right? I can get to another one. If they're going for the farm down, I'll make it to another one, and I do get to another one. So they are going to be low, which is really nice. And maybe I can farm down with Lock On. We'll have to see. My opponent does farm me down, but look how low they are. Alright, so definitely going to bring in the Registeel. Want to farm this down. I do let this Flamethrower go. It's not going to be enough to KO. And out comes the Medicham, as expected. Now, I am weak to Ice Punch. Keep that in mind. So, Ice Punch is coming out. I think I shield. I do shield it. And it's Psychic. That tells me they don't have Ice Punch. So what I do is go straight Shadow Ball, and I do believe my opponent shields. You could bait Mystical Fire here if you choose to. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe they would call it, so I just went straight for Shadow Ball. I'm going to go straight for Shadow Ball again, especially since they don't have Ice Punch because they would have used it if they did. So it's going to take more. However, they could bait with Power Punch, but I am going to go ahead and shield anyway. And it's a Psychic, so that's a good shield, although that still wouldn't KO. However, the defense debuff, which is not great, out comes Victreebel. This is resisted damage. I know I'm debuffed. Look how much Leaf Blade does! That is not resisted. You can't convince me that that's resisted. But no, I was debuffed, and obviously Shadow Victreebel is very powerful. I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Registeel right now. Maybe going for the Lock On down. They do get to a move, and that's fine. And I'm going to farm down, and then I can go for the Shadow Ball against the Medicham and take that game. So very close game. Well played to my opponent, and I'm going to be able to win that game. You're really well done. Let me know in the comments down below what other new Pokemon you want me to test. I have my eye on Togetic, as well as Clefable, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have teams to suggest, I am interested in hearing it. Okay, Frostless. Not too bad for me. We don't have Flash Cannon, so nothing super effective, right? But still, I'm going to go ahead and shield the first attack. I doubt they bait. And they don't bait, and they go into Dugong right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Zap Cannon for sure. Obviously, I mean, the Drifblim wants no part of Dugong. I don't get the debuff, unfortunately. So I'm just going to go ahead and stay in. Drilvan is not going to KO. It is a huge buff to Dugong for sure, no doubt about it. But it doesn't KO, so I'm going to go ahead and get off another Zap Cannon. See if my opponent wants to commit the second shield, and they do not. But I do get the debuff there, which is really nice. Do I shield this one, or do I let this go? I let it go. I don't think it KOs. It does not KO. I switch right now to go for the farm down. Can I get it? I can get the farm down. You love to see it. And it's Triple Ice. Triple Ice. Very cool indeed. Wolverine is going to be able to get off an attack right now. Icicle Spear was buffed this season, but I'm still able to take it. I go ahead and go for the Foul Play. And this Foul Play is going to connect, and I'm going to be able to get off another Foul Play, which should be enough to KO if my opponent decides not to shield it. And my opponent does not shield it, and now Frostless is coming in, but if I can get to one more, I'm going to get the shield, and I do get to one more. I know what my opponent wants to do. They want to farm down and have energy, so I got to get off this Foul Play to get the shield, and then switch into my Drifblim. Yes, I am weak to Avalanche. I wasn't sure if it would KO after the Powder Snows, like after they get more Powder Snows on, but we won't find out because I'm able to get to a Mystical Fire, which is super effective towards this Frostless, and I'm going to be able to take that game, and that's going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. I had so much fun with Drifblim, I'm telling you. It was just so fun. I want to try different teams with it. Okay, so, of course, Registeel is weak to fighting, but you have two anti-fighting types in the back. Drifblim still kind of struggles against Medicham in a way with Ice Punch, but still, it's still pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and go straight return. Sometimes they shield you. Sometimes, you know, I have baited in the past. It all depends how I'm feeling. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this and continue to farm up. Play Rough would have KO'd me, so I'm going to be able to take this matchup, which is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Foul Play right now. If they shield, I could shield and farm down. I did throw in CMP, and my opponent does shield, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this one and farm down this Azu. So I do go down a shield. I'm down 2. My opponent's at 1 shield, but it's totally worth it. I have so much energy on Sableye. So totally worth it for me. What is coming in? What is coming in? It's going to be a Bastiodon. Okay, I could get off plenty of foul play attacks. I'm going to go ahead and go for 1. Of course, I do need that Drifblim, right, for the Medicham, but I still have to watch out for Ice Punch. Because a couple of Ice Punches will KO me. And yeah, I'm not worried about a catch. My opponent's not going to catch a foul play on the Meta. They don't want to bring in Medicham. I mean, maybe from this low they could bring it in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in Registeel. I think what I want to do is go for the aggressive farm down. I mean, that might be a little bit too healthy. Not really. Oh, out comes Medicham. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go for the debuff, force my opponent to throw an attack, right? I want my opponent to throw an attack so they're either energy dry or they're lower in energy, and I can get off this Zap Cannon, which maybe will debuff the Medicham. Picking up the final shield, it does not debuff the Medicham, but I do get the shield, which is huge. Now a Shadow Ball will be enough to KO, and 1 Ice Punch will not KO me. Actually, maybe I do live another Ice Punch. I thought 2 Ice Punches KO Drifblim, but maybe not. I can't wait to try Drifblim for the Ultra League, I'm telling you. I have a decent one. And I have enough XLs as well. And I'm able to get to Mystical Fire, which is neutral and will be enough to KO the Bastiodon. So, great game to my opponent. Very well played to them. And I'm going to be able to take that one. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Loved Drifblim. And yeah, let's go ahead and move into the next battle. How are you all enjoying this season so far? I've basically been using a different team every single time, no matter how I do with the team. Or maybe not every time, maybe like every other set. Every couple of sets. Dunsparce's coming in. Okay. Well, I gotta stay in. Yes, I am weak to drill run, but I could take a drill run. I could take a couple drill runs and roll out. Rollout was buffed this season, but it's still not doing much to Registeel, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Focus Blast. Again, I could take another one. I gotta go for Switch. I gotta win Switch, and I gotta stay in. So because Shadow Claw and Hex not doing much at all to that Dunsparce. So I'm gonna be able to get off this Focus Blast. Not sure if my opponent is gonna go ahead and shield, but they do decide to shield. It makes sense. But will they be able to roll out me down? It's coming close. I am going to commit both shields. I know my opponent will be able to get off 2 drill run attacks, and out comes another drill run. I don't know if I can make it. Will one more rollout KO me, or will I live it? I live it, and I do get off this attack, which I really needed to do. And I need this to KO, and it does not. But look at that. I survive another rollout, and I lock on down. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dugong coming in. Drifblim needs nothing to do with Dugong. Wants nothing to do with it. So I bring in Sableye. Okay, this is fine. I mean, it sucks that I was debuffed, but that's fine. And they make an attempted catch, but I do have Drifblim. Now, here's the thing. I am weak. Not weak, but I still take a lot from Frenzy Plant. Like, another one will KO me, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go for this Mystical Fire right now. Super effective damage. I do get the debuff there, but I still think another one will KO me. Yeah, Drifblim, not the bulkiest Pokemon in the Great League. This should be enough to KO me. No, it's not. And my opponent makes a really good play. They stop attacking. Yeah, I remember this one because my opponent wants to farm down with Dugong. And they're going to be able to. And you know what? Return would not have KO'd, so I was like, maybe if I can get off 2 foul plays. At this point, I lost count of energy, so I wasn't sure if they were adding an attack, but they, in fact, are adding an attack. So my opponent will take this one. So well played to them. They actually go for drill run, but I think both moves would have KO'd me. But either way, good game. Well played to them. Well played. Moving on, Registeel into Azumarill. Absolutely love to see it. We do have the Zap Cannon on this Registeel to switch into Lantern. What I want to do is go for the Zap Cannon and then switch out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this attack. It's going to be a Thunderbolt, and I do get off my Zap Cannon. Let's go. Okay, Zap Cannon, super effective damage. Actually, no. It's super effective towards Azu. Okay, cool. So Yeah, I mean, I need to save that Registeel for the Azumarill. I'm going to go ahead and go for the foul play right now, hoping it is enough, and it is. So Azu is coming in. This is not, honestly, this is really not a terrible matchup for Sableye. Yes, they have play rough, but the return will do a lot. That was a CMP tie. They got to play rough the same time I got to return. So I'm just going to go ahead. I think I just let it go because I do have the Registeel. So yeah, I let it go. It is enough to KO me, and I could bring in the Registeel, waiting out the switch time a little bit. And I could bring in the Registeel right now. I am at half health, so there's that, but I think I was counting. I think I know this is not Hydro Pump. Oh, there's my... I set my alarm by accident, just in case I wasn't up. I totally forgot about that. Let me go ahead and fix that and turn it off. Okay, sorry about that. But either way, whatever. Continuing the battle, I do shield that, and I can get off these Mystical Fires against this Galarian Stunfisk, right? So I do get off one. Very nice indeed. Can I get off another one? Not before Rock Slide comes in, and I am going to go ahead and let it go because they are debuffed. So I do let it go, and I overfarm a little bit, going for the Mystical Fire, which will be enough, should be enough to KO, as it is easy KO. And out comes this Azu, right? So Azu will be hit with a Shadow Ball, another CMP tie, I believe. So I'm going to be able to get off this Shadow Ball. And my opponent, yeah, CMP will be able to throw an attack. I do decide to shield it because the Hex damage, the Hex damage is just adding up, right? And I want to get to the Mystical Fire just to debuff them. So I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And they have to shield, right? I make an attempted catch. I don't successfully catch, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're not... My thought process is I could just Hex down, but this actually doesn't even KO me thanks to the debuff that they're under. So I'm able to get to a Focus Blast and KO the Azumarill and take that game. And that's going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. Yeah, well done. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. So it's going to be Registeel into Medicham. Tough lead, but we do have two Ghost types in the back, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the safe spot, which is Sableye. Out comes Charizard. This is not bad. This is actually a flippable matchup because we're ahead on energy. It all depends. Let's see if they let this go because this will do a lot to Charizard. And as you can see, it did a lot, so I can shield this and farm down. So really good situation for me. The only thing is, again, Drifblim is weak to Ice Punch, but I guess you could say the same about Trevenant when Trevenant, used to be really popular with the double Ghost teams. But I do go ahead and get off this foul play. And I do pick up a shield, which is really nice. I'm going to be able to get off another foul play into the Dugong. Absolutely incredible. So I'll take that damage. And I will let this Sableye go. Sableye did its job. It was able to flip switch against the Charizard. I don't know. I feel like they should have put in maybe Dugong, but that's okay. Dugong against the Sableye because then they could have debuffed me and stuff. And it's bulkier than Charizard, but that's fine. I do go ahead and shield, and I do go for the Shadow Ball. You could bait here. I'm not going to go ahead and bait just in case they call it. And my opponent did call it, so that's good that I didn't bait. Just want to get off a Mystical Fire. I am weak to Ice. I'm weak to Ice. Going to be Icy Wind, but I'm still able to get off this Mystical Fire, which is neutral, but more importantly, it will debuff the opponent. So I love that. So I can bring in my Registeel, just need to get to a Focus Blast. I'm going to survive multiple drill runs if my opponent gets to them. They're not going to get to multiple, but even if they did, I survived them. So Registeel is going to be able to get off this attack right now, which will be enough to KO. And that will be a great game, very well played to my opponent. Drifblim does have to watch out for Alolan Sandslash because that is a common Pokemon. But at the same time, you have Mystical Fire, which is double super effective towards it as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.